It is free for the price of one. It's a Kenworth T909. It's freighter B-double trailers. And it's a freighter road train trailer. These are limited editions and are in the colours of the Australian company Betts Bauer. Let's start with the Kenworth, and it comes in a nice branded box. And inside there are the usual trays. They are factory sealed, so you need a knife and you have to do some intricate cutting. When you've sliced and diced, there is the Kenworth sitting in the tray. There was a loose step, but it was easily fixed with our old friend Super Glue. And straight after that we can take a nice look at the little Kenworth book that comes with the model. This is a nice little reprint of the marketing brochure, and it's got some nice photos and specifications of the real truck. At the end it also goes on to say Australian made and world's best. Well, I don't know about that. They'll be thinking they can play cricket next. The packaging for the two freighter models is basically the same. And the interesting thing is the way the bags of loose parts are packaged. Anyway, out with a knife again, and then we can lift the top. And there are the trailers. It used to be that twist ties set the standard for annoying packaging. But new with the freighter models is this, which is double-sided tape. And yes, they stick to everything, including you. And great fun can be had trying to shake the bags off your bodily parts. The freighter trailer models also come with their own nice marketing brochure. And it's surprisingly detailed, even though there are no specifications of the real trailers. But the story's good, and it's an interesting read. This sort of inclusion is certainly one thing Drake models set a high standard for. Also included is a helpful sheet to cover the trailer models. And on one side it's titled Features and Functions, and on the other side it's Functions and Features. But there's more, which is Drake Collectibles Guide to Australian Road Train Configurations. And it's certainly a good inclusion for anybody in the rest of the world. Remember, if you want to support the Cranes Etc. team, you can do so over on our Patreon page, and the link is in the video description. We'll start the assembly by getting mirrored up, and there are a couple to add, one on either side of the cab of the Kenworth. And they are metal mirrors and press into the preformed holes. We're going large with an Australian road train, so we better have a sign for that, and we'll add oversize at the front. The other thing that's nice to do is to tidy up all the coiled lines if you're showing the tractor on its own. We move on to the freighter road train trailer, and that's got a simple 2-axle dolly which we need to clip onto the fifth wheel at the front. The fifth wheel is lever operated, so thinner fingers are preferred. The flat top trailers come with gates which press into holes around the whole of the deck edge. And although they're initially a little bit loose, that's not so much of a problem because we're going to clip them together. Small spring clips are provided and you push them into place. And you can have a fun game seeing how quickly you can gate up a complete trailer. To provide some stability for the loose gates, there are some bows which clip across the top. And the ends of the bows press into holes in the top of the gates. Once that's done, it's all reasonably rigid, just don't pick up the trailers or take a look underneath it. And the only variant of all this is some different clips which go on the front trailer of the B-double. Now that we're all gated up, we're going to go to the challenge of forming the B-double. And because of clearances, it's more tricky to operate the lever on the fifth wheel, so it's best to use the pointer included with the model. Next you can go in for some micro modelling, and that's make the hose connections between the two trailers. And this operation is definitely one where tweezers are required. So let's join up the B-double onto the Kenworth, and you can see how expertly the lever on the fifth wheel is being operated by the pointer. So we're nearly all joined up now, so we just need to add the road train to the back of the B-double. The drawbar goes nicely into the hitch, and once again tweezers rather than fat fingers do the trick. So after all that, what we end up with is an Australian road train. The Kenworth T909 is a highly detailed model, and you can see that by looking at the intricate chassis detail. As a model though, it looks hugely impressive and realistic, right side up, and there's fantastic chromework detailing. That includes Betts Bauer graphics, and it's also engraved into the exhaust stack. The excellent detailing continues behind the cab with coiled lines and fine quality meshwork. The trailers are simpler models, but they're executed very well, including hoses to the various axles. They have very nice textured decks, with plenty of details on the back ends. The metal gates are nicely formed, there's a cast deck edge, and the plastic boxes have got nice graphics. We start with the Kenworth out on the test track and it rolls well, and in part that's because it's fairly heavy with its high metal content. It does have steering, which is of the notched variety, and it can achieve a moderate angle, so it won't turn the sharpest corner in the display case. The other very nice feature on the model is the working suspension on all of the axles. There's a big bull bar at the front and that folds down, and that allows the engine hood to be tilted forward. Although perhaps the angle of opening is a little restricted, you can still easily see the very detailed engine that lies underneath. Another feature on the model is the opening cab doors, and the pointer comes in particularly handy if you don't have long fingernails. With the door open you get a nice look inside, and if you want you can bounce the seats up and down. A quick and easy way to open the door on the other side is to push the pointer through the driver's head from one ear hole to the other, and then the opposite door can be pushed open. Finally, the fifth wheel has a feature in that it has some longitudinal movement. We'll now move on to the trailer functionality and see how that stacks up. And the axles have been well engineered and they roll smoothly. And on the road train trailer the dolly rotates nicely, with the drawbar having a good range of up and down movement. And there's even a tiny workable landing leg for the drawbar. The other very nice piece of model engineering is the suspension on all of the axles, and it works very well. Looking underneath, all of the various trailers have working landing legs, and they unscrew to reveal smooth piston faces. No unsightly screw threads here. There are a couple of other things to take a look at, and firstly you can load on a spare wheel under the trailer. It sits on a little upstand on the frame, and it's a nice little detail. Another possibility you have is to store some gates under the trailer, but in reality you can only get a couple in. Okay, so this is an Australian road train, so let's load it up with things that would be useful to a remote location in the outback. We'll start with the last trailer and we don't need the gates for that. So after all that work putting them together, we're just going to rip the whole lot off. So let's take off all the gates, and that makes room for a nice 45-foot container, and we'll send that chock full of Drake models for our friends stuck in the outback. But what else could they use? Well, certainly everyone needs a spare tower crane section, and when you've got things to move around the house, it helps to have a small forklift. So let's load one of those on board. Also handy would be some building blocks, so we'll keep the gates on while we load up a few palletfuls. Lastly, it would be good to send our friends some livestock. So let's find some suitable animals, and animals is the right word to describe the members of the Cranes Etc. team. We've waited many years to send our team far away, and a one-way ticket to the outback is too good an opportunity to miss. Let's do a dim check and measure up our road train. So we'll start with just a B-double trailer, and that's 22 inches or 56 centimetres long. Moving on, we'll go for the full road train, and it reaches an impressive 35 inches or 89 centimetres long. Drake models have always set a high standard, and these freighter trailers don't disappoint. They look great when they're matched up with a suitable tractor, and then if you go for a fully loaded road train, you get a very impressive display piece. All parts of this Australian road train are excellent.